Sense Radio.
Could you whisper in my ear the things you wanna feel? I'll give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own? I wonder where you are and live with all your faults. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all, so why don't you smile?
Good morning, you bunch of drunks.
Amy, on the way to the polls to vote today, said in reaction to the new national anthem, KT, she said, wow.
Yay!
Just was what she needed on the way to the
Good.
voting booth today.
Good.
So, great. Sounded great. Yeah, today, election day. Mayor's race, a big one in St. Louis, and then we have Proposition P, and we have the stadium, and all kinds of things going on. Keith English is out there. Representative Keith English. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, sir. Long time no hear.
Yeah, I know. What's going on, man?
Well, Hazelwood School District has also got a big election coming up, as many of your listeners have seen on some of the local news channels, that Hazelwood has had a lot of issues with their budget and a big audit from the state coming up. And so I'm heading into town. As many of you know, I moved to Jefferson City with my beautiful wife, and I'm coming in to help Mark Bellman and Betsy Porter, two new faces on the school board, and change we definitely need.
So they're good people, huh?
Absolutely. Well, what made me call in at 5 o'clock when you said you had a Patriot competition with photos, these are two great Patriots that we definitely need in office.
Awesome.
You know, on the local level, we hear a lot of state and federal elections, but the local level is where it all starts with your big tax dollars.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to make a big change, but I wanted to thank you very much for putting me on and a vote out for Mark Bellman and Betsy Porter to Hazelwood School District today.
All right. So, Keith, how are things working out for you as a, relatively new independent after leaving the Democratic Party?
Right. Well, that was in 2014-15, and, you know, it was an uphill climb for me running against the Democratic Party as a Patriot independent. You know, when you vote for common sense legislation like voter ID and stand your ground gun legislation in a liberal district like Florissant, North St. Louis County, you know, you have a chance that you won't get reelected. But, you know, I went to Jefferson City to make a change, lower the tax rate for the state of Missouri, and be a conscious vote and common sense for the people that usually in North County don't get that type of representation.
Right on. No doubt about that. Usually, I think you have, even in 2014, made people realize the idea that there's some kind of party attachments that are just antiquated these days. The parties are not matching the people. Sometimes that's the Republicans, sometimes that's the Democrats, but you find that a lot these days.
Sure, and you're seeing that again. You got Courtney Curtis out of Normandy, Missouri, who has not only voted for right to work, he voted for the bill that has to do with lowering the prevailing wage law for the state of Missouri, an African-American out of Normandy. So you're seeing many politicians breaking away from the normal Democratic or Republican platform.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, listen, good talking to you. Godspeed to you. Congrats on your independence, and thanks for all you do, and have fun at the polls.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on today.
All right, that's Representative Keith English, who left the Democratic Party, became an independent. We're talking to Andrew Jones yesterday on the Allman Report, who's running for mayor, and he's finding a lot of people that he's talking to out there in the city, and I'm talking about in the urban areas as well as in South City, who traditionally would vote Democrat, who are finding his message resonating. It's a different time. Be careful, Lyda Cruson. This could be another November 2016 if you're not careful. But there are a lot of people who have just simply said, you know what, the Democratic Party isn't working for me. And their progressive policies are hurting the city, hurting our economy, and that's what we're all about these days. So people are brave. There's a newfound courage to break away from the regular old mix. And some of that's happening with people who are longtime voters. Some of that's happening with people who are just now out to vote who didn't vote before. I told you last time in November, and I told you this before November, that the key to President Trump's victory would not only be with Democrats who are breaking away from their party and realizing that it's Republicans who have the best economic ideas, but there are going to be people coming out of the woodwork who haven't voted before. Remember all the phone calls we got from individuals, some of whom hadn't voted in 10 years, 20 years, some of them their entire lives. They were the people who put President Trump in the White House. Just saying.